of blood, guts and glory, and all that was lost on the way. There was nothing to do and nowhere to run. There was nothing that I could say. The dust in my eyes enough to tell me what to do, and the bullet you left in my thigh, well, I'm giving it back to you. It wasn't always that easy, no, it wasn't always that slow. I just thought you'd like to know this time, I just thought you'd like to know. Tell your mother what you did to me that day. Or when she asked you where you found success, did you simply turn away? And I'm coming for you now, and I'm coming for her too. When you're in the ground, well, maybe I'll be done with you. It wasn't always that easy, no, it wasn't always that slow. And when the gun was cocked and when the bullet was set, well, there was nowhere left to go. It wasn't always that easy, no, it wasn't always that slow. I just thought you'd like to know this time, I just thought you'd like to know. And was I wrong? Was it fated from the start, or did I stand a chance at all? Here I wait inside a bar for that crowd radio, and a file, and it's coming for me now. Oh, it's coming for her too. And when you're in the ground, well, then we'll still have close after we can do, we can do, we can do. The dust in my eyes enough to tell me what to do, and the bullet you left in my thigh, well, I'm giving it back to you. It wasn't always that easy, no, it wasn't always that slow. I just thought you'd like to know this time, I just thought you'd like to know. Go when you had the answer and you were there alone. You left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more. Give it up, give it up, give it away. While you were barely aware, you let that day cut off so much hardly remain. While you knew that there was still a way. This is your only plan. Oh, now this is your only. Now this is your only plan. Oh, now this is yours. force it to yield. You'll forge it to the lines. You let your callous be your shield, and everyone will say that it all was finished years ago, but you will stay, and you won't ever let it go. When you had the answer, and you were there alone, you left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more. Then again, you found the answer, and you were there alone. You left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more. When you had the answer, and you were there alone, you left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more. Then again, you found the answer, and you were there alone. You left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to round 7 of the Galaxy Tour brought to you by Zealous Racing League. My name is Shim. I'm going to be your host tonight, and given the nature of tonight's race, things are going to be a little bit different tonight for our broadcast and for the overall, really for the overall, how the session is going to pan out here. The whole overall format of everything has changed, given that tonight we are here at the historic, the iconic Nürburgring Nordschleife here in Assetto Corsa Competizione. And as you can see, our friend Jonathan Clifford here opting for a quick lap, doing a quick qualifying practice lap there down around the GP circuit. Going to see a lot of that from our drivers as they try to get their fastest laps here in our 1 hour qualifying session that is going to start tonight's broadcast. So so what's going to happen here is our drivers are going to get a full hour to set their fastest lap. Given that the laps are so long, we decided it'd be best to give everyone a bit more time to get up to speed on the track and then set a qualifying lap. So we're going to do a 1 hour qualifying session right away, right now. And then right when 8 o'clock hits, that's when the race itself is going to begin. And it's going to be a 90-minute race for our drivers. There's no mandatory pit stops, but given the length of the race being 90 minutes, our drivers are most likely, they're going to need to make a pit stop for fuel. Whether they want to take the tires, that is, up to them. So it's going to be a really, really interesting race tonight. This is our first ever league race here at the Nordschleife, and we did some practice racing last night here at the Nordschleife, and it's incredibly difficult to manage. It's going to be a tough race, and just getting to the end without damage is going to be a challenge for a lot of drivers. Even the most skilled drivers that we have on the grid. This track is brutal, it's punishing. With it being so long, it's tough to learn it. So it's going to be a night like none other that we've had before here at ZRL, as our drivers tackle the green hell. And given that qualifying is going to be so long, I'm not going to commentate over the whole qualifying. I'm actually going to, I wanted to get on here. I wanted to share with you the whole layout of everything, and then I wanted to get the music back up and running for about 30 minutes and come back when we get closer to the race, see how everything is going. I'm going to try and set this on autopilot so that you can see a variety of different drivers And yeah, so that way we can see a variety of different drivers. Hopefully the autopilot system works well with the ACC TV here. And you guys enjoy this part of the stream. If there's anything that you guys would like me to look at moving forward from this, like any things in the autopilot that you're not really enjoying, let me know. And yeah, that'll be good feedback for me. But we're gonna try out that feature today as we watch our drivers, uh, tackle their qualifying laps here. So our friend Travis here in the Nissan GTR, working to set his lap. I think he's on the out lap right now, but we'll see how he does here in a little bit. We'll see how the rest of the drivers fare in their qualifying attempts. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna let the stream kind of do its thing. Turn on some music for the ambiance, and I'm gonna give it about 30 to 40 minutes, and I'll be back when we get closer to the race to give commentary for that itself. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys soon.
Well, here we are again. I've been here before, but I couldn't tell you when. Now every step I take is on the line, and each move right wipes out what's left behind. Well, here we are this time. It starts again, but I really don't know why. Hey, misplaced step, a single slip or fall. It's back to 1-1, I've lost it all. If I'm stuck, I'll call you in each stage I'll move through. Well, I know it's a little more. Each step alone brings us closer to that old throne. So now I'll set the pace. With such short time, yeah, I really must make haste. But I don't know what's ahead or what the ending will bring. I just need to take a minute and then try again to take out the king. If I'm stuck, I'll call you with each stage I'll move through. Well, I know it's a little more. Each step alone brings us closer to that old throne. between the rings of cosmic metal love into the orbit that surrounds you. That orbit that surrounds you. That orbit that surrounds you. That orbit that surrounds you.
Ignition sequence.
That orbit that surrounds you. 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 Like a hand reaching for a handle, but find that it was never there. Candidly, I can't handle knowing that it's all up in the air. I thought the world ended in March until I heard the doorbell ring. Can't keep from falling apart, but I'll glue back everything again. This can't be the end. This can't be the end. This can't be the end. This can't be the end of all that summer had to say. What little time has gone away, I'll glue it all back anyway. I'll glue it all back anyway. Like the wing of a sparrow or a plane drops down a couple feet again to catch the wind that still remains, but I'm left breathless anyway. I thought the world ended in March until I heard the doorbell ring. Just me here standing in the dark, but I'll light up everything again. This can't be the end. This can't be the end. This can't be the end. This can't be the end of all that summer had to say. What little time has gone away, I'll glue it all back anyway. I'll glue it all back anyway. This can't be the end. This can't be the end. This can't be the end. This can't be the end of all that summer had to say. What little time has gone away, I'll glue it all back anyway. I'll glue it all back anyway. I met you in the yellow light of a sign that bore your name. You said it was a coincidence, but one you can't explain. Said I'm not going to read more other than I should, but when you smiled, I knew I always would. I wanna meet you in a slow dance. I wanna meet you, but it's too soon. I wanna meet you, but I can't speak or dare to cross the room. I wanna meet you in a slow dance. I wanna meet you, but it's too soon. I wanna meet you, but I can't speak or dare to cross the room, but I am trying. Stuck beneath the spinning glow of a familiar hue, struck by your impression like all of yours next to you, but I will try to stand across the room. I wanna meet you at a slow dance. I wanna meet you but it's too soon. I wanna meet you but I can't speak. Or dead across the room, but I am trying so hard to meet you where you are. I wanna meet you at a slow dance. I wanna meet you but it's too soon. I wanna meet you but I can't speak. Or dead across the room. I wanna meet you at a slow dance. I wanna meet you but it's too soon. I wanna meet you but I can't speak. Or dead across the room, but I am trying so hard. Well, I lost my phone maybe 3 years back, and I don't have an address. It's a matter of fact, but I guess you tried to drop me a line. Yeah, I signed out and I unsubscribed, then I cut the cord. Now I'm not online, but I'll be fine. Yeah, I guess that I'll get by. Well, I shaved my head and I grew out a beard, and now I only wear plaid. I always lick, I steer. I'm moving to LA. I'm writing a screenplay, but it's not about you or what we were. It's about a new girl you've back home. But each step that you took towards her, well, you took each one alone. And every time you said, my God, how is it up there on that phone? Well, I've been waiting undefeated just to hear you say that I'm not needed. I said I was an honest man. You said I wasn't at all, but I wanted it. Well, I think you're just afraid of the fall, but you won't be there at all. No, you won't be there. And oh, my God, I hope you're falling apart. My God, I hope you're falling into you. Oh, my God, I hope you're falling apart. It's gonna be the start of what you are. Well, I remember when you said that you hate everything I do. You didn't have a reason, then wish I'd given one to you. And then you would say, oh, my God, I couldn't know what you've been through. Well, I've been waiting undefeated just to hear you say that I'm not needed. I said I was an honest man. You said I wasn't at all, but I wanted it. Well, I think you're just afraid of the fall, but you won't be there at all, or you won't be there. And oh, my God, I hope you're falling apart. My God, I hope you're falling in you. Oh, my God, I hope you're falling apart. It's gonna be the start of what you are. I said I was an honest man. You said I wasn't at all, but I wanted it. Well, I think you're just afraid of the fall, but you won't be there at all, or you won't be there. And oh, my God, I hope you're falling apart. My God, I hope you're falling in you. Oh, my God, I hope you're falling apart. It's gonna be the start of what you will. My God, I hope you're falling apart. My God, I hope you're falling in you. Oh, my God, I hope you're falling apart. It's gonna be the start of what you are. I came in a bit before the opening, said I took the bet. I know the rest is good, I guess. The covered is a crowd around it. I can scarce get by on second breath between the breaths. Now it's 1 a.m. and I don't know how I'll get home. The way is barely paved. I can't keep my eyes from closing in between each rest, but I'm not going to cave. I guess I'm made. I said that I'll come along with time, but when I try, I get the feeling I someday will die, and I'm not going to care. I never sleep, I never eat, I never leave my house alone. Another evening in between what I believe and what I know and what I know. I'm sitting on the 501 moment's rest, glacial pace, I won't lose faith. Maybe if I stay around the rest to prove myself, I still save face. Now we're on our way before I quit at 9:30. Can't get out of this, you know, I lost that little time. I guess I'll make it, yeah. I said that I'll come along this time, but when I try, I get the feeling I someday will die, and I'm not going to care. I never sleep, I never eat, I never leave my house alone. Another evening in between what I believe and what I know. I never sleep, I never eat, I never leave my house alone. Another evening in between what I believe and what I know and what I know. So I walked out the back before the second set settled my debt. I'll miss the rest, that's fine, I guess. The cavern is a crowd around, and I could scarce get by on second breath between the press. Now swept back by the phone. Baby, if you don't stand for something, how can you ever hope to hold the weight of everything you own? Maybe if you build your house on sand, you can burrow deeper. Maybe it would cave on you alone. So I did, I tried, I swear I did. 1,000 times to let it lie, 1,000 times to let it lie. Swear I did, I tried, I swear I did. 1,000 times to let it lie, 1,000 times to let it lie. Baby, if you don't stand for something, how could you ever hope to hold the weight of everything you hold? Maybe if you show them all your hand, you can iron the creases. Maybe you can take it back and fold. You said it was all in the ether. Ain't something you said you could beat her. She said she was not the buddy girl. Then you said she said that you couldn't believe her. Ain't something you said you could beat her. She said it was all just a leader. Then you said, you swear I did, I tried, I swear I did. 1,000 times to let it lie, 1,000 times to let it lie. Swear I did, I tried, I swear I did. 1,000 times to let it lie, 1,000 times to let it lie. Swear I did, I tried, I swear I did. 1,000 times to let it lie, 1,000 times to let it lie. Swear I did, I tried, I swear I did. 1,000 times to let it lie, 1,000 times to let it lie. I heard that you weren't sure, and I called it off again. And I heard that you weren't sure, and I called it off again. It's not the same when I'm with you. You open up before I do. Came out a different shade of blue. It's not the same when I'm with you. But it's always a surprise when, oh, it's always a surprise when the tide comes in. When the tide comes in. But it's always a surprise when, oh, it's always a surprise when you call again. When you call again. How long's the shoreline anyway? I measured every other day. Tide washes all my work away. How long's the shoreline anyway? But it's always a surprise when, oh, it's always a surprise when the tide comes in. When the tide comes in. But it's always a surprise when, oh, it's always a surprise when you call again. When you call again. But it's always a surprise when, oh, it's always a surprise when the tide comes in. When the tide comes in. But it's always a surprise when, oh, it's always a surprise when you call again. When you call again. Oh, I'm not supposed to answer. I'm not supposed to know. Oh, I'll let the silence answer. I've got to let it go. Oh, I'm not supposed to answer. I'm not supposed to know. Oh, I'll let the silence answer. I've got to let it go now. Written in the the back of my old diary. I gotta break sometime. It's underlined and red. Scrawled across the screen beneath the spider ring. I gotta break sometime. I left it all unread. And the more I know, the less I seem to care. Weighted down by everything and falling through the air. And the more I hold, the less that I can bear. But hey, I gotta break sometime. Cracked inside a kiln between the fire. I gotta break sometime. You glazed it anyway. Screamed across the city from a windowsill. I gotta break sometime. That's all you had to say. The more I know, the less I seem to care. Weighted down by everything and falling through the air. And the more I hold, the less that I can bear. But hey, I gotta break sometime. Written in the back of my old diary. I gotta break sometime. It's underlined and lead. Scroll across the screen beneath the spider ring. I gotta break sometime. I left it all unread. Cracked inside a kiln between the fire ring. I gotta break sometime. You blazed it anyway. Screamed across the city from a windowsill. I gotta break sometime. That's all you had to say. And the more I know, the less I seem to care. And the more I hold, the less that I can bear. The more I know, the less I seem to care. Sorry, baby, I just don't know the words or how to conjugate them. Was it really past tense? I heard, or was it present perfect? Maybe we could forget the time you faced that friend without me. Maybe we could go back to mine, pretend it never happened. Oh, when we're always out of time, and you say it will be fine. Well, I just can't find the lines. Oh, hope I know what to say when you throw it all away. Sorry, baby, I've been drifting again. Could you repeat the question? No, I guess I do not know when it first became a problem. Sorry that it's all such a mess. The words, they seem to leave me. Didn't really quite catch the rest. Not keen on it repeating. Oh, when we're always out of time, and you say it will be fine. Well, I just can't find the lines. Oh, hope I know what to say when you throw it all away. When you throw it all away. Sorry, baby, I just don't know the words. Was it really past tense? I heard. Maybe we could forget the time. Maybe we could go back to mine. Well, I think that I've been drifting without you, drifting. I think that I've been drifting without you, drifting. I think that I've been drifting without you, drifting. I think that I've been drifting without you, drifting. And now I know that you've been gone.
All right, folks. Shim is back. and ready to give some commentary on how everything is going so far in our 1 hour qualifying session. Taking a look at Matt Lung right now as he navigates his way through the track, up the hill, and hopefully not going off track too much there. Looks like that may have been an invalidation right before the carousel. But usually what I like to do at this time during qualifying session is give a rundown of the track layout while I watch somebody do an onboard. And I think I can do that, but I will say, do not expect me to know all of the different areas of this track yet. I'll be honest, since this track came out, this track came out when I wasn't able to sim race, so I don't know it as well as I don't know the corners maybe as well as I would have liked, like the specific names and everything like that, but hopefully I can at least give a good rundown of the track layout itself. I am familiar with this track in particular from other racing games and the like. Just gonna turn down the sound for the cars itself so it doesn't drown me out when I'm talking. But yeah, I know the GP circuit pretty well, but yeah, the Nordschleife is so large. There are so many turns. I don't know the name of all of the areas, or really even all of the, not all the turns for sure, but not all the areas even of the track. But I'll do my best to give it justice, and we'll try and find someone, maybe the 84 car of Portis. He's coming across the line now. I don't know if he's going to be done with his laps here. We'll kind of see what he decides to do. He's going to abort right there. We'll try and look at maybe some other drivers. Gage Gonzalez looks like he is getting himself ready for a lap. Maybe we'll check with Gage here. We'll just kind of watch him. I think, yep, he's going to be going in for a full lap here. We'll get into his cockpit and we'll watch him go. So this is one trick that drivers will be using today to get faster qualifying laps is running the GP layout and just running that before taking that last little turn there and going on to the GP layout again, just to allow for a little bit quicker turnaround after the out lap. As you can see, the Mercedes Arena section there is omitted in this layout, so just a quick back and forth kind of like hairpin chicane deal going into the downhill portion of the GP circuit that you know and love, heading down into what I believe is called the Dunlop hairpin. Correct me if I'm wrong. But heading down into the hairpin at the end of the hill, everything normal and the same here. One thing with this layout of the track compared to the regular Nordschleife is that this is the updated resurfacing version of this track. So it does feel a little bit different than the normal Nürburgring that people know, even in this GP layout area. Watch as Gage comes down the back straight here of the GP. And this might be tough, every lap here is on edge. We may see some crashes here during qualifying because this lap is so long. Coming into the chicane here, there's a new sausage curb on the inside there that drivers will need to watch out for. And now we go on to the Nordschleife proper into second gear here. Into the Nordschleife, we got a hairpin down the hill, big curbs on either side. That's very typical of the Nordschleife. Large curbings on the side. You're either going to see that or you're going to see no curbs at all. It's flat out down the hill. Going into a tricky little section here. Want to make sure you're braking enough and not hitting that wall. taking that curb, getting the car rotated, taking the curb again. Now we're going to go down the hill here. Really important to get that exit and use all of the runoff that you can as you come down the hill. And now we're going up, which I believe it's the elevator is what this is called. A little bit of a lift there just in order to make sure you don't understeer off the track. Going flat out in this section here. It's not very straight, but it's still flat out, these corners. Coming up that little lip there, getting a little bit of air on those front tires, a little bit of a lift so you don't understeer in. Braking hard into the right-hander under the bridge here. Into an up and down section. Go down the hill rapidly, flat out. And then as you come up the hill here, you're gonna a little bit of a brake, just coast in, get the car rotated, and now you kind of want to go a little bit wide and late apex it because you want to be ready for that next turn there and hitting the apex there. On the acceleration, looking out for Jimmy's tree on the left there, and coasting in to what feels like to me is really the second part of the Nordschleife track here. Is starts to feel very different from that first part as you come down the hill here. Very tricky down the hill. You don't want to oversteer on the exit. Now you really have to be careful here, or else you're going to understeer in this downhill section out into the barrier on the wide side there. And you can see his gauge is just, you know, edging closer and closer, but not going off the track into a slow little left-hander there. Coming out of it, going down to another little slow section here down the hill. Braking into, you know, second or third depending on the car, up the hill, and using as much of the track as you possibly can, trying to maintain that speed. A lot of time that you can gain in this lap. We're going into a really fast-paced portion of the track here. Got one little right-hander here. Got to be careful. Bit of a later apex than it might look like. Losing it a little bit on the exit. That's kind of normal, but did a good job to hold it. Up the hill, we're going to be flat out here. Now you actually want to be careful because it's so, the elevation is actually so steep here that in a lot of cars, McLaren isn't one of them, but in actually a lot of cars you don't want to upshift. You don't want to upshift into what would be sixth gear. One of them being the M4. You actually don't want to shift into sixth gear because it's so long. You actually start losing speed as you go up the hill if you don't time it right. As you can see, fifth gear flat out, maybe a little bit of a lift there as we head into a very famous portion of the track here. As you get to the top of the hill, a little bit more of an uphill portion here into the carousel, the very famous carousel. Definitely quicker to ride that inside line, and it feels like you want to be on the gas earlier, but it's definitely just better to be just tapping the gas on that and just making sure you're keeping momentum. Now we're getting to the top of the hill for real this time. Kind of just take that lip, and then we start going downhill from here into what I would consider then the third part of the track, the Nordschleife itself, starting right here. Into the downhill section. A lot of this is just making sure you're maintaining speed, not braking too much, and just coasting through these turns onto that gas. Using a bit of that runoff. You go up the hill here. There's another runoff there at the top of the hill. Using as much of that as you can. Don't want to oversteer into it. You will slide and drift as you go up that hill. Being a tricky little part right there. You want to make sure you actually get it all the way to the left. Into a really fun section here. Getting some airtime as you go down the hill. And sliding into a really fast-paced portion of the track here as you really try to go flat out. Battling the car down the hill. You see Gage is doing an excellent job of maintaining this control of the car as he comes closer to the second mini carousel. Very tricky. You don't want to understeer off the track there. Another little carousel kind of portion here, but there you can actually attack it a little bit more. Now coming on to a very crucial part of the track, kind of a blind corner here. Just trying to gauge when you need to be on the gas here, because this is really crucial for lap times. You can gain a lot of time going down the straight here if you time that exit correctly. You can see coming up the hill here, down the big straight here at the Nordschleife. Now this is a boring part of the lap, but if you can maintain the speed, it can gain you a lot of time. A little bit of a kink here down the hill, and then back up, still flat out. Only now braking as you go into a slow little right-hander into the left-hander, and you're back onto the GP circuit. And there you go. You have a lap of the Nordschleife. Gage Gonzalez setting a 8:08.9. That's an excellent lap. Puts him into second place. That's about as good a lap as you can hope for here at the Nordschleife. So really great to see Gage do that and be on board with him as he attempted that lap. Ryan Trudell in another car in front of him. Oop, a little bit of an oversteer moment there on the exit. Ricardo Rivera looks to be the driver right in front of him, looking to improve his time from an 8:09. Our friend Glenn Pinio coming along the GP circuit here, cutting the track, just allowing himself to get a quicker lap in there. A couple drivers behind him thinking the same exact thing. Now I will say there are some parts of this track that I really don't care for. One of them being that first turn right there. I do not like that first turn of the 24-hour layout. I would have much rather just have him do the Mercedes arena section there. I find it's tricky to gauge that hairpin there. Not a huge fan, and it closes things off a lot when you're racing. Allows people to just go single file in there, whereas I think the Mercedes section allows for a little bit more wheel-to-wheel racing throughout the whole section and gives a little bit better opportunity for drivers to make moves in the opening turns of the race, opening corners of the race. So me personally don't really love that part of this layout. We did some practice laps at this track yesterday, and another thing that I found that I didn't like is you come down this back straight of the GP layout, they have that sausage curb on the inside of this turn coming up here, and I don't know, maybe it's just because I haven't raced this track very much, but I was not able to get a good gauge on where I needed to be in order to take that turn correctly. I'd always be hitting that sausage curb. Mauer here is saying don't care for anything after the pig's exit or before the pit entry. So yeah, it's this track is going to be brutal. I don't want to be pessimistic, but I do not think that everyone will finish this race tonight. I think we're going to have a few people who are going to leave. And as disappointing as that is, this track is brutal. And if you're not up to it tonight, I think that you're just going to find people who are going to be fed up and leave. I just think they're not going to put up with it tonight. It's such a tricky track. It's so difficult to manage. I mean, this is an over 8-minute lap. Some people, some drivers are going to be, closer to a 9-minute lap. And, with how many turns there are, it's just so brutal. And it's, a 90-minute race doing this is going to be a lot for drivers to manage. this track is, it's unforgiving. It's got a reputation for a reason, and um, it's very much deserving of that reputation of being very difficult. But that reputation has made it the iconic circuit that it is, and that's why so many people were so excited to see it finally come to ACC. So, I know it's tricky and people aren't, I know this is a tricky map, but a tricky track, but to be completely honest, like, we're kind of asking for it. We wanted this to happen. We wanted a track like this. We wanted this track specifically for the longest time, and we finally do have it. And yeah, it is just as difficult as it seems. If you've raced this track in any other sim racing game, you know how difficult it is. Even if it's not the same exact, scan of the track. It's in every iteration of the track for the, as long as it's been out, it is difficult for drivers to manage it. And yeah, that's what makes it so much fun. And you're right. We're probably going to see a lot of people bin it in the first lap. You know, with even the qualifying format that we have going on, yes, that is unique, but really this race is going to be unique. It's so much more about management and staying clean than it is about lap time in a lot of cases here. Obviously, lap time is still important, but if you can manage to go the whole 90 minutes without getting damage or without getting into a major collision on track, I mean, that's going to be the real test here. It's an endurance. It's a true endurance test for our drivers tonight. Sure, we might see some wheel-to-wheel action, and that'll be great. I mean, this is a difficult track to pass on, but it'll be great to see some wheel-to-wheel action. But I think it's going to be more interesting to see who can make it through the race today without getting into trouble, and who can keep it clean for the full 90 minutes. So as the timer winds down here, I know they're hoping to get another lap in here, but I believe that it's going to be only about 2 minutes after that qualifying timer goes off, or maybe 3 minutes, that the race will then start. So let's see what it says here. Actually, nope, they've given them a 10-minute wait time, so that will give all of these drivers the opportunity to finish their lap. And I think Zach Hickman here is going to be the last driver on the track who has yet to complete their lap. So we can watch him on the way through, see how well he does, working to move up from P11 here. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. Be sure to like and subscribe and share this with your friends. This is round 7 of the Galaxy Tour. We will have one more round that's going to be a makeup for round 5 at Watkins Glen. That's going to be next week. Sadly, I won't be here to be able to give that broadcast. I'm going to be going on a trip, so I'll be unavailable for that. But if you're interested in ZRL and you're new to this whole sim racing hobby that we've all grown to love, be sure to join our Discord server, because if you're interested in joining our leagues in the future, you're going to find the most up-to-date information on that on our Discord server, and there should be a link on the homepage of our YouTube channel for that. No news right now for a Season 15, but I can imagine it's going to be coming shortly. We take drivers of all levels. And we also have a lot of different coaching opportunities as well for people to come in and learn more about sim racing. So if that's something that interests you, be sure to join in and join the community. I want to give a shout out to a good friend of our community and the leader of our practice sessions, which is Lenny Dijkstra. Every Monday night before the race, he leads a practice session for our drivers. And we have not only, the people who are trying to learn the tracks, but we also have veteran drivers in there that'll help give pointers on the track and can help share maybe some setup tips for each track. So if that's something that interests you and something you're looking for, be sure to join in and give us a look. So yeah, given the nature of this track and the racing that we'll probably see today, there might actually not be a ton of like commentating that there is for me to do. I'm gonna do my best. I will say that. I'm gonna do my best, but there may be some times within the race tonight that I might be a little quieter than I usually have been. So we see Louis there setting his fastest lap. Friend Jonathan Clifford currently in P4, looking to improve his time. Going absolutely rapid down the hill. Getting that car rotated flat out down that downhill section. Really nerve-wracking, but super satisfying once you can get that right. Jonathan doing a good job of keeping that car stable and rotated through that section there. And very rapid through the mini carousel. Coming on to the long straight here. We'll see how Clifford's lap is momentarily. I believe he may be one of the only drivers still on the track. Actually, Rivera behind him is still on track. And the number 2 car of Larson is still on track. Down the straight they go. And Larson coming in for another opportunity here. He probably sees how close Gonzalez is and is thinking that he needs to pick up the pace a little bit. We were talking to him last night, and he was saying that the key for me is just to stay ahead early into the race and not have anyone in front of me. Because where you get into trouble here is not anticipating what people in front of you are going to be doing, and that's where you can get into trouble. So Clifford was not able to improve, and Rivera just testing himself on the pit entry there. So nothing new for him. I believe that's the first time Gonzalez has out-qualified Rivera today, or this season. Only by 2/10 over an 8-minute lap, so that's very impressive how close they are. And watching Larson now. Got to try out his setup last night, and I personally thought it was a bit understeery, but really he's treating this more as you got to attack the corners and be really early on your turn-ins to make this setup work. Going down the main stretch here. Larson down the straight. I'm actually really impressed with the turnout, I'm not going to lie, tonight too. We have 26 drivers currently on the grid. Given the reputation of this track, I was actually expecting less drivers to come today, but I'm very happy to see how many we have. We've seen it in the past with tracks like Bathurst that people will just shy away from it. But good to see people are sticking with it today. And as he crosses the line, he actually is able to improve to a 8:06.7. That's a 5/10 improvement on his last lap, so really scraping the barrel for whatever bit of lap time that he can get. Now, you'll also notice that since this is an 8-minute lap, it's like a 20-minute out lap if you're not careful. So we've gone with, so we've gone with the short, uh, lineup here, the short rundown to the straight to the start of this race. Looking at the starting grid of today's race, though, so everyone is aware of our starting order, we have we have Christopher Larson in pole. Then we have Gage Gonzalez in P2, Ricardo Rivera in P3. Up next to him is Clifford. Then Portis, Belanger. Apologies, gotta make sure I said this right. Belanger, Reed, Hickman, who's the leader in our semi-pro category, Nunez, Lloyd, Zach Hickman, Curtis Ruston, Levasseur, Lung, Gordon, Nicholson, Collis, Bartlett, Rodman, Mugarian, Pinio, Sands, Wolf, Trudell, Maurer, and last but not least is Jean. So like I was mentioning, it's going to be an interesting start to the race here. Track position is key, so we'll see how folks do on the opening few turns of the lap. It's obviously incredibly important to make sure that right off the start you're clean and you don't have any incidents, because it is an 8-minute lap to get around to the pit lane. So you're really going to need to make sure that you're clean on the first few turns, and then maybe you can look to attack. And really throughout the whole race, our drivers are going to want to be focusing on preservation, focusing on keeping the car and all of the wheels on the track, maybe dipping a few into the grass at certain areas, but mostly you just want to keep that car going the right direction, and want to make sure that you're not bending it into any of the turns that you have to repair for damage and come into the pits, because that can really put a damper on the race. Repairing the damage, it could put you quite a ways back. I'm going to imagine that a lot of the battles tonight aren't really going to be battles, on track. It's going to be battles against yourself to stay clean, to continue on with minimal damage, if hopefully no damage. That's what our drivers' goal should be today, and I really hope they know that, because if you're too aggressive, if you're too greedy, you're gonna be in trouble. All right. So our drivers are now beginning the slow run up to the start-finish line for the start of our 90 minutes here at the Nordschleife. I want to again thank you all for tuning in today, and be sure to give us a like and share. All the support is so much appreciated, and any more support you can help us get is greatly appreciated as well. As they now come down the straight, looking at two very opposite sides of the track, Gonzalez right next to Larson here, and we're green for our 90 minutes here at the Nordschleife, and Gonzalez actually looks like he's ahead, has a really good start in that McLaren, and he's got the inside on Larson here. Larson's in a dangerous space here. Rivera is right behind him there, and Larson has a really, really good second turn here, but nope, Gage is actually going to eke out ahead and is going to take the lead position of the race in the first couple laps. We do have some carnage here back in the lower parts, in the further back parts of the track, but it looks like everyone is still going straight, maybe just a little bit of bumping there on the start. Take a look at our gaps here. Gonzalez leads, has a little bit of an oversteer moment there coming out of the exit. Larson's probably not going to be able to do anything about it though. Larson's now looking for an opportunity to attack Gonzalez going into one of these turns in the GP circuit here, but he's not close enough coming out of the Schumacher S's. And Gage is looking a little bit squirrely there in that McLaren. Down the GP back straight we go. And looking at our drivers here, it looks like Sands has dropped back. Maurer is back. Jean has made up some positions. Into the chicane they go. Staying awfully close. As you can see, Gonzalez might be holding everyone back a little bit. Rivera, Clifford are all really close together there. Looks like everyone has been clean so far for the rest of the lap as they come into the Nordschleife proper. You see there's a little gap forming behind Clifford there from our leaders, and a little bit even there. Gage and Larson are pulling ahead of Rivera just slightly. See, that's Portis leading that second pack there. Ooh, a little squirrely exit there for Gonzalez as they come up the elevator. Oh, Gonzalez looking awfully quick in that McLaren here at the Nordschleife, and honestly, that's really, well, it's amazing to see, but it's really surprising. Usually, you know, a bumpy track like this, the McLaren is going to be so on edge, it's going to be difficult to drive, but it looks like Gonzalez is managing it perfectly. Larson is obviously staying very close, and we also have a track off here. That's Jean, spun around there, and definitely a lot of damage on that BMW. He's going to have to nurse that one back. And Jean is actually going back to the pits there, and it looks like he's exiting out. We have another driver off the track there. That's Trudell, looking a bit slow coming out of that fast-paced section, but he is back up and running. Going back to our leaders. Looking at our positions gained. Belanger's gained a position. Maurer's gained 2. Sands is down 2. Just a few people who have moved up one place. Obviously the big word here, or the big news, is Gonzalez taking the lead of the race. Coming into a couple of these slow turns, it really is more evident now that you can see the gap that's forming from Larson to Rivera. It's now almost 2 seconds from Gonzalez and Larson to Rivera and Clifford behind. Now Larson doesn't have to worry too much. I do know a little bit about his strategy that I won't give up yet because we're still so early in the race. But I know he's got a certain strategy in mind that he'd like to take. I don't know if that's going to pan out for him given how well Gonzalez is doing. But like I mentioned, there's no mandatory pit stops for our drivers. But they will need to make a pit stop for fuel at some point within the race today, because their cars will not have enough fuel to manage the full race. Up the hill they go. Looks like Gonzalez is actually pulling ahead a little bit of Larson, just slowly but surely. Looking at some of our battles throughout the track here, we've got Matthew Reed in a gaggle of cars. That's Hickman in front of Reed, Alex Hickman, Nunez and Lloyd behind. Ooh, looks like Lloyd was maybe looking for a move on Nunez there. Looking awfully close. Nothing just yet though, and that's Rivera now with Clifford behind. As they come down, make a little jump. Down the hill they go. Mini carousel. Looks like Rivera's losing a bit of time to Clifford behind. Rivera had the better qualifying time, but it's looking like Clifford may have the better race pace here. Just able to manage his Lamborghini a little bit better than Rivera can manage his McLaren in this opening lap here. Looks like we're through the first lap here, close to through the first lap here, almost unscathed. We did lose 2 drivers, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, just lost the 1 driver, which is always good to see. You can really see the gap now. Actually, Larson has lost some time on Rivera, is now second back on the Rivera after that first lap. So really great opening lap from Rivera there. Now it's up to Larson to respond. And Clifford looking for that move on the inside, but he's not close enough to do it. Actually, Larson looks like he maybe have made a mistake there, because now he's almost 2 seconds back. Don't know what he did to make that mistake, but now he's much closer to Rivera than he was down the back straight there. You can see Gonzalez. You can see Gonzalez is way up there in front. Looks like Larson just made a bit of a mistake there. Wonder if he's managing some fuel at this point in the race already. Could be. As they come onto the Schumacher S's now, most people are back into the GP circuit here. Clifford holding true. Looking at Larson now. See if there's any damage on that BMW. Doesn't look like it. So it could be just him looking to manage the tires and manage fuel. Get a few extra laps before he has to make his pit stop. That way it can load up the second stint with a bit less fuel and can go all out. Looking at some more of the positions. Nunez has now lost 2 positions. Pinio is up 3. Good for Glenn. Looking at Glenn now, kind of in his own little area, which is good. Does have Rodman behind him. Rodman doing really well this season. Gonzalez still in the lead, doing quite well for himself. Nunez looking to make a move on Hickman. Not a really good part of the... There's really no good points of the track to really make an overtake, but Nunez awfully close as they go up the hill. Side by side they go, and I can't believe they didn't touch. Oh my goodness. That is a crazy moment. And actually, Nunez is going to lose some time there to Rustin behind. Rustin's actually going to get ahead here down the straight. That lack of top speed is now going to hurt Nunez. Nunez is going to lose that position to Rustin as they have to go single file into the kink there. So that risky move from Nunez there is actually going to lose him a position. It's honestly what's going to be the norm for most of the race today is, you know, if you're not managing that top speed well enough, you're gonna start losing positions if you're not careful. Rustin now looking for a move on Hickman. That's Zach Hickman. And while this isn't for the lead of that class, Alex Hickman's quite a ways ahead. He's leading the class right now. He's almost 13 seconds ahead of this little group here, leading the semi-pro division. Moving to Clifford and Rivera. Clifford looking for an opportunity to make a move. Just really isn't anything, like anywhere for him to go. His best bet is looking for something after a turn and trying to ride the slipstream as long as he can. If he can get the draft, get that slipstream, then maybe up this hill he can do something, but he's maybe not far enough away that there might be just a bit of dirty air still. Still have 25 drivers, so we're still looking pretty good so far. Now Nunez up the hill is going to be looking to get that position back from Rustin as they go side by side. And there's a bump, and Nunez is off. That was a risky move, looking for the outside there. He's able to keep the car going straight. Probably not too much damage on that Mercedes. I'm going to say that was kind of a racing incident. I mean, there's not really any good places to attack here and overtake. Any spot that you take is going to be risky. So props to try and make the move, but I don't think you can blame Rustin for what he did there. It's just, you know, how the game is played. Back up to Clifford as they're now through the carousel. Up the hill they go. Clifford awfully close to Rivera here. Definitely has the race pace advantage. Just looking for an opportunity to overtake at this point. Clifford doing a good job to hold on for this long. Back to the Hickman and Rustin and Nunez battle here. Behind them they have Matt Lung, who's just tracking on. Ooh, and we do have a bit of an incident there. That was Rustin who lost the car. We'll see if there was anything. Let's actually take a quick look at that. So Rustin, as they come across here, let's see what happens. Again, down the hill they go. He just takes the runoff a little bit too much and loses the car, and definitely going to be some damage on the front of that Lamborghini. So that'll give the position to Nunez and Lung. Actually, he'll drop down the order now, Rustin. With that, actually, Rustin is going to quit out as well. Like I said, I figured we would lose some folks tonight with this race. Actually, no, Rustin is still out on track. We lost another driver. So, apologies to Rustin there. He's trying to get back on track now. Larson is much closer than he has been. As they go down the straight here, Clifford looking for an opportunity to overtake. Doesn't get it. Maybe down the front. Start-finish straight here. See if he can do it. Larson's gained some time on Gonzalez. Back up within a second. Ooh, much better section for Clifford there. Looks like Rivera tried to maybe go a little bit defensive and ended up not really working in his favor. Rustin's got the better line. Still isn't able to get ahead though. Gotta love that little double hairpin. Totally allows for some great racing, and you can probably tell I'm being sarcastic about that. Nunez dropping down the order. It's actually just Nunez and Hickman battling. Alex Hickman also loses the position to Lloyd ahead. Nunez is ahead. Hickman gets it back. Down to the hairpin they go. Nunez on the inside. They go down to the hairpin. That's going to be the better line. He can just hug that inside now. That's going to be the place for Nunez. Finally does get by. Now he's got to hold it as they go through the Schumacher S's, which I think he should do handily. Now back to Jonathan Clifford attacking Rivera here as they come into the Nordschleife proper. Yeah, tricky little part there. I think Clifford was trying to stay close, but just outbraked himself a little bit. It's that follower's curse there a little bit. You can feel like you can be maybe just a little bit faster if you brake a little later and end up compromising a line because of it. Now here with Levasseur with Matt Long right in front. Chase Gordon behind. You can see this group is now caught up to Zach Hickman here. Alex Hickman has dropped back. A little bit of damage maybe on that car. Didn't see anything happen. 808 car. Yellow flag with a few drivers here. Christopher Larson gets ahead of Gonzalez. Gonzalez has lost the car. That was awfully close. Could have been a big stack up there. Let's actually go back and see what happened to Alex Hickman here. Do a quick replay. Oh, it just loses the brakes. Oh, it could have been a lot worse too. Was able to actually kind of hold it a little bit. Oh shoot. accidentally clicked the wrong thing again, so we'll watch that again, even though we don't need to. Seems like he locked the brakes a little bit there. And then we'll take a look at where Gage Gonzalez is now in P8. Gonzalez is the number 13 car. We'll take a look at what happened here. And I think I'm going to guess he clipped something in this section of the track here. Goes wide. Yep. Clip that outside and loses the car. An awfully close for Larson, but he's able to avoid. So that'll move Larson into the lead. Rivera and Clifford still battling. I'm going to guess that Gonzalez might be coming back to the pits here to repair the car. That's very disappointing for Gonzalez because he was doing so well and actually gaining time, like putting some space between him and Larson. Now we'll watch Sean Collis here battling it with Alex Hickman, and Collis makes the move. Looks like he's going to make it stick. A lot of drifting for Rivera here. Looks like Larson is gaining a bit of time on him. Moving back to a battle that we hear about on track here. It's Glenn Pinio battling it out. Gotta stop my autopilot that helps me track. And it's Glenn Pinio blocking Bartlett, and that's Alex Hickman and Dale Rodman. Glenn being the brick wall. Coming through the carousel they go. Tricky for the drivers to pass on any of these next parts of the track because they're so flowing in what I, again, would consider like part 3 of the Nordschleife. As I was mentioning my qualifying, me personally, when I think about this track, I have to break it up into really, you could do 4 or 5 distinct sections. Number 8 car of Levasseur is in yellow. But the first section is obviously the GP circuit, which is, even though there are a few differences, it's still pretty memorable, and you remember it from, racing the Nordschleife proper, or the regular Nordschleife, I should say, or Nürburgring, I should say. It's not the Nordschleife. Actually, it looks like Rodman and Bartlett lost a little bit of time to Glenn there. Glenn picking it up a little bit. And then you go into what is like the first part of the Nordschleife, and that really occurs until you go down the hill and start going downhill you start going downhill to some of those tight turns. Glenn losing it a little bit there, but letting Rodman catch back up a little bit. could see a move here by the GTR of Bartlett. Travis got some good practice in yesterday with the crew, getting into that slipstream. The train, as they go and chase down what I believe is Kaylor Nicholson, or actually that's I think Sean Collis ahead of them. Moving back up to our leaders here, Ricardo Rivera. But if I could put it on, the overlay here, I would really say it's, as you start going into that downhill section, that's really where part two, of the lap begins, in my opinion. Then you have the downhill and then uphill portions of the track, as you have that fast uphill section. Clifford looking to make a move. Oh, and right when there could be a move, looks like there's not going to be one, but looking dicey. Rivera looking dicey. Clifford looking for a move. Rivera goes defensive, and Rivera will hold him off. But then as you go up the hill, once you get done with the uphill portion, that's where, like, I'd say, part three of the track begins. And part three is characterized by not only the first carousel, but also the jump as you kind of have that flowing downhill section, and then the mini carousel down to the long straight of the track. The long straight of the track could be considered like a fourth/fifth, or that fifth region if you wanted to, but most of the time I just lump it into the fourth region because it's pretty much pedal down, try to go as fast as you can. But like I mentioned in qualifying, a lot of time can be gained there if you're lucky. Clifford looking for an opportunity, doesn't have it. Looks on the inside, but it's going to think better of it. Exactly, Lenny. And it doesn't really matter how you group them in your head. Like, I'm explaining how I group it in my head. It honestly doesn't matter at all. You can split this track into as many sections as you need to keep it easy. I split it into 4 sections. 5 sections, whatever you want it. But you could split it into as many sections as you want. There's so many corners. You gotta split it up some way though, because trying to memorize each individual turn is kind of a nightmare at this track. Zach Hickman. Bounces off the wall, hits that curbing similar to Gonzalez there, and he's going to spin out there. Chase Gordon is going to actually take the lead of the class there with that. There have been some drivers that have gone into the pits, but I believe those guys were the leaders of the class. You can really see things are starting to spread out a lot now. Moving to Rodman, trying to still get ahead of Pinio. And actually, if you look there, Rodman did get ahead of Bartlett there. Honestly, if I had to pick, and I think I've said this once before, if I had to pick a driver for the season, I'd put Rodman in the hat for that award, driver of the season. What a consistent and confident season he has had. Just doing an absolutely incredible job. I don't think he's necessarily won any race this season, But looking at the consistency and, you know, lack of incidents that he's had, really, he's become. Oh, and I say that, and he bumps Pinio there. Oh no, I totally jinxed him. Oh no, that's my fault. Oh my gosh, no. I was saying he was having such a good season, not getting any incidents, and just had an incident with Glenn there. Maybe he was trying to stop and just couldn't in time, but that is so disappointing. Oh no. I guess I just shouldn't talk about any driver. You know, despite the incident we just saw there, I'd still give I'd still give Dale a good pass for the season. Has been extremely consistent and has been doing an excellent job. Most of the time of being nice and consistent. And yeah, has just put together a lot of good points, points finishes. Being usually careful or cautious, but I guess I shouldn't say that because he might biff it here in one of these sections. And we do not want him to do that. Yellow flag for the 92 car of Travis. And Travis hits the wall up ahead of these guys here, and that's Dale that'll be going by. I find it really cool though to see the improvement of so many of the drivers that I've raced with for many seasons now. Some of these drivers I've raced with for years, and just seeing the improvement in them is really amazing. You know, as long as I've known a lot of the guys like Portis and Larson and Rivera, they've been really fast and quick, but you know, drivers like Reed and Belanger have really put in the work and have become really quick drivers. Rodman, Pinio, Travis has put in great work in just a few seasons, and having some troubles right now, but this is a tricky track, so don't put it past him. But yeah, just seeing the improvement in the drivers as they are, going along, has been really cool to see. People that I've raced with really, enhance their abilities as time goes on. It's awesome to see that growth. See some drivers that are making their pit stops here. A lot of those guys probably have some damage on the car and are looking to repair that and get back out on track. Looks like Portis is keeping it nice and clean, and actually, if you look there, JP Belanger in third place, doing a good job of keeping it clean. Rivera is into the pits now. Looking at the incidents we've seen so far, it doesn't look like Portis has gotten into any incidences, so that's it's probably a good move from Belanger there. Looks like actually Belanger did just get into a bit of an accident there. Not sure what that's all about. Looks like he's doing all right to me. Couple yellow flags for drivers. Looks like a lot of them are the ones coming into the pits, so I don't know what's going on there. Well, we've already raced for over 35 minutes here. Rodman, Pinot, Levasseur in the pits. A few other drivers looking to do the same. Larson sits comfortably. Right now, he sits comfortably 11 seconds ahead of Clifford, but remember, Rivera has taken his pit stop. So Rivera now stands, if I look at things, Rivera now stands in P12, right behind Sean Collis here. You can actually see him right there on the screen. Collis is going to let him by, knows that it's not his battle. And Rivera will move ahead, unhindered by our good friend Collis. Given the length of the race, I think coming up here soon, I will take a quick water break just to allow myself to get a couple drinks of water and stretch my legs out a little bit. But after that, I will be back for some more commentary. Things have really spread out at this point, so there's not really any crazy on-track battles to commentate. Closest people on track right now are actually these two guys, Rustin and Lung. So probably just let this play for a little bit, and I'm gonna go grab a quick drink of water, and I'll be back shortly. So enjoy the stream while I'm gone, and I'll see you guys all shortly. All right, everyone, we're back after a little water break there. And looking at everything, it looks like Rivera's dropped down a little bit to now P5. Gonzalez has made his way back up into P7 after that crash early in the race. And now Larson is making his pit stop. Clifford behind him. Belanger is in P3. Looks like the 999 car of Clifford is coming down that straight now, and the number 2 car of Larson is on his way back out onto the track. Rivera right behind Portis, Gonzalez right behind Reed. Looking at some of the logs that I see here, it looks like not a lot of incidents between drivers, but we're seeing a lot of accidents, self-inflicted accidents, which is kind of what we expected here. And it looks like Gonzalez actually has another incident here. Number 13 car. Let's look at what happened here. And looking at Gonzalez looking for an opportunity to get the run on Reed. He just goes a little bit wide and loses the car there. Luckily, it doesn't look like he hit the wall too hard, so it looks like just the tires are going to be hurting a little bit after that one. Back up to Portis and Rivera, though. Got 30 minutes left to race. Looks like Matt Lung is also closing in on Rustin. Portis is looking nice and confident. Not seeing any gaps in his defenses here, just staying nice and consistent and clean and confident. Calm, doesn't look like his car's getting any wobbles going through the turns, just staying nice and clean. Keeping that 1 second gap to Rivera behind. A little closer now, but looks like he's just trying to keep everything nice and cool and collected as they go into the Nordschleife proper. Larson still leading the pro class with Zach Hickman leading our semi-pro class. Looking at the drivers still in the race, looks like we've lost one more driver. And if I had to guess, given on the entry list, it was Alex Hickman that we lost. Vera in the slipstream there. No real opportunity to pass there. Gordon is just 6 seconds behind with Nicholson, just a second, I want to say, 2 seconds or so behind Gordon, and gaining on him a bit. Collis has made his way into 4th place within the within the class. That's a good gain for Collis. Actually, looking at the leaderboards, Chase, Nicholson, and Collis have all moved up 5 positions since the start of the race. So really good on those guys for the big improvements. Bartlett is in the pits. Pinio and Rodman have swapped places again. And Travis has gotten his way in between them as well. Gotta say, that's an awesome livery from our good friend KP there. He's been running it most of the season, since round 2, I believe, and gotta say, it's looking nice and clean on that Honda. Up the hill they go. Rivera looking on the inside. That's not going to work through that kink, though. Now we got Rustin battling it out with Lung, going back and forth. Looking in the front splitter of that Lamborghini as they come down the hill. Going for a missed apex there, Rustin. And it actually looks like KP is gaining or opening up that gap a little bit now. A little over a second for Rivera. KP just looking nice and crisp. Confident. Truly is the key to success here today. It's keeping out of trouble and maintaining that track position. Because once you lose it, it's so much harder to gain it back after you've made that mistake. So it's a lot about just, like I said, keeping consistent throughout the whole race. And it's a long one. This is basically an endurance for our drivers. Hour and a half to stay focused on the toughest track in the game, one of the toughest tracks in the world. Now this is where Rivera's going to be able to get close. And he did hit it just right. Looking on the outside. Does get by Portis. Portis will tuck himself in as they come up the hill. Now coming down. Portis will have the advantage of the slipstream. It's not going to be enough for him to make a move. Coming down the start finish straight though, looks like Portis has got a really nice run. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough to make a move, but he might try to send it. He does not, though. Decides against it. Rivera parking himself on the apex of the turns. Now it's down to Portis, really, just to try and stick with Rivera the best he can, because if he can stick with him this lap, Portis should be able to get Rivera on the next one coming down the straights. Given how close Portis is, though, might be a little bit earlier here in the GP circuit. We'll come off this battle at the end of the GP circuit if Portis has, see if Portis makes the move. Just a little over 20 minutes left. Portis sticking awfully close to Rivera's bumper there. He's going to think better of it, though. That's not his opportunity. It looks like Portis will just have to stick close and wait for his opportunity another time later in the lap. Looking through our leader, though, from our leader down the list here, we've got Larson now having a commanding lead over second place with Jonathan Clifford. After Gonzalez made that error, it's really been Larson's to lose now, with him already he had already gained quite a gap to Rivera and Clifford behind, so now it's just a matter of making sure he can keep clean for the next 20 minutes and take it home. Jonathan Clifford's been having a good race as well, keeping it clean in P2. While not having the speed of Larson, he's been having the consistency and the cleanliness of laps that Larson has been experiencing as well. So a good performance so far from Jonathan Clifford. Again, kind of his to lose at this point, second place. So we'll just have to see if he can keep it clean for the next 20 minutes. JP Belanger, kind of an unexpected P3 in my book. Wasn't really pitting him for a podium, to be completely honest, but staying out of trouble is really the name of the game, as I've mentioned many a time here at the Nordschleife. Got 19 minutes left to go in the BMW. 14 seconds away from Clifford. Looking at the lap times, about 2 seconds a lap slower than Clifford. So if Clifford does make a mistake, there's an opportunity there for Belanger to come in and sweep a P2 performance, but that's all dependent on if I think Clifford makes a mistake given the lap times. Rivera, despite his performance throughout the race and where he started, doesn't seem to have the lap times that Belanger and Clifford are having. Running in the 817s, really upper 817s, almost an 818 in terms of pace. So, and in recent laps, it really hasn't been too much better for Rivera. So, has lost a few positions since the start of the race, but still maintaining a respectable P4. Portis has been a bit of a sleeper this race as well, having this battle with Rivera. Running in the 818s, mid 818s for this race. Now behind Rivera, he may be able to use that slipstream to his advantage to get a faster lap time. We'll have to see once they finish it up, but good P5 so far. And we've got Matthew Reed here, sitting in P6, was having a battle with Gage Gonzalez a few laps ago. Gage has been having some nice quick laps this race. Actually, Gage has the fastest lap of the race right now and is running in the 816s. Reed is running in the 822s. and last lap was his fastest. Currently kind of in an island on his own right now, but if he can keep it clean, he's going to do well. Gage Gonzalez has had a few mistakes, definitely has the pace to win this race, but just looks a little bit squirrely in that McLaren, I'm not going to lie. You know, you see him, we've been watching him coming out of some of those turns and looking a little bit sketchy. Rear end looks like it's going to come out on him. So seems like that's kind of been the par for the course for Gonzalez today, even though he really does have the pace to win this thing. Given his lap, oh, and look at a little bit squirrely there, hitting the wall. Looking at his pace, like I said, he's got the fastest lap of the race. Larson is 2/10 back, so if he could have kept it clean, it really would have been really his race. Nunez, having made up a place from where he started, currently sitting P8, has had a pretty quiet race. Has been a part of a few things, a few little incidences here and there, but overall doing well. Zach Hickman leads our semi-pro category in his Ferrari. Right behind him is Chase Gordon, and Chase Gordon is gaining on him, if I believe I'm reading those numbers correctly. So it could be a good battle forming between Hickman and Gordon here as the race goes on. Now looking up at Portis and Rivera here, Portis is within a second of Rivera this lap, and as they reach the long straight, could be an opportunity for Portis to make a move and get back into P4. Looks like there's some accidents and some red names moving up there. Looks like Matt Lung is in the pits after having a bit of an error there, a bit of an issue. Travis Barlett having some issues as well. But yep, looks like Gordon might be gaining on Hickman here. Gonna have to watch that. Gordon in P2, a big mover today, moving up 5 positions from where he started. So really good look for Gordon for points in the class this race. Killer Nicholson again up 5 positions and currently sitting in P3 in that semi-pro category. It's going to be a good performance for him. He's kind of on his own right now. Very comfortable P3 position. So if he can keep it nice and clean, he should be in a good state to take away P3. Our friend Glenn Pinio is currently sitting P4 in the class. I think that's his best position. Well, this will be his best finish in class if he can keep clean for the last 13 minutes. Glenn up 9 positions from where he started. Travis, another driver, up 5 positions from where he started. Currently sitting P5 in the class. It looks like he's struggling a little bit with that GTR. Struggling to just keep it nice and straight. So we'll keep watching him and seeing how he's doing. Rodman, P6. Had the commentator's curse there for a little bit, running into Pinio earlier in the race, but seems to have recovered well, and Pinio's gotten that position back, so all seems rectified on track as the race has gone on. Sean Collis, who's had some good runs, has fallen back into I want to say that 7th position over in the class. I think he was sitting in a podium position at one point, but has fallen down the order. Looks like he's gotten into a few of his own personal incidents there. It actually looks like he maybe collided with a car about a few minutes ago as well. Him in the number 80 car of Matt Long. Martin Mugarian currently leads our rookie class. Not too many rookies here today. It's just him and Sands, but Mugarian having a good race so far. Haven't seen his numbers show up on too many issues or too many of the logs here. I see one yellow flag for his name, along with another car, so it could just be the other car made the mistake. He looks to be running well, up 4 positions from where he started. Matt Lung has lost some positions, but looks to be kind of in the groove now, sitting P17 overall. He's got a long way to go to Mugarian ahead. Probably not going to be catching him in the next 10 minutes. And Levasseur behind him, going to him. Levasseur is 40 seconds back from him, so pretty comfortably there, P17 overall. Levasseur is also sitting kind of comfortably in P18 overall. Has lost 5 positions since the start. Not the best race from Julien tonight, but he's still here, still kicking, doing a good job. Curtis Rustin had been running really well, P12 overall, so I would have put him into P4, but seems to have gotten into some incidents as the race has gone on. Sitting P19 now, lost 7 on the night. Louis Sands up 2 from where he started, second rookie class driver. That'll be a podium finish for him. Not that he could do any worse, but seems to be having a nice confident drive. Eric Lloyd currently sitting in P21, lost 11 positions, and seems to have been having some issues tonight. That number 9 car just seems to not be able to figure out the track tonight, which is a bit disappointing given he's had good form all season. Probably going to be sticking right there for the rest of the, probably going to be sticking there for the rest of the night. And Carl Maurer, currently in the pits right now, up from where he started. I think he started at the back of the pack, but has had some stop-go penalties, and I think he's just going to sit in the pits for the rest of the race now that there's only 9 minutes left. Sean Collis having a bit of an issue there, a little off track, but since he's got those gaps, he's going to be okay. Tricky part to lose the car. I think he just probably oversteered or understeered into into that left-hander there. Checking back in the battle with Portis and Rivera here. They come up the hairpin going up the hill. Portis is awfully close. He's within 3/10 to Rivera. Just got to stick in the slipstream as they come up the hill here. Not a good opportunity for Portis to really make a move here. You can really see the difference in how well the McLaren and the Honda take the bumps here. That McLaren's bouncing all over the place, and the Honda looks much, much stabler. It could also just be the Portis effect. He's very smooth and steady. Smooth as fast. All that finesse of bowling is translating into his finesse on the track. Eight minutes left, so looking at where Larson is currently, once he crosses the line, that will start the final lap of the race. It's going to be a long final lap as drivers trickle in here. 13 car of Gage Gonzalez into the wall, and he just opts to go into the pits. That's disappointing given how close we are to the end and how well he was doing. I don't think that was the right move from him, but it's too late now at this point, so that's disappointing. And Gonzalez just opts to leave. Definitely don't think that was the way to go. He wasn't running in a bad spot, so probably just was getting frustrated with all the issues he's been having. But sad to see someone who was running so well for most of the race to leave. Saw another driver leave as well. I don't know who it was though. Can't tell. Could be, I think it's Eric Lloyd also left. And as Larson is now in the final couple turns here, he'll cross the line, and this will be the white flag on the night. 6 minutes left to go. He's going to cross the line about 1 minute and 30 seconds after the flag is dropped. Down the straight now, Portis and Rivera. Portis trying to stick close, looking for an opportunity in the draft, seeing if he can overtake. Doesn't look like he's actually close enough. Might be in the dirty air there. Not able to get the run that he was maybe hoping for there. He actually is further back than when he started down the straight there. So yeah, must have been in some dirty air. Couldn't get the speed. Moving to Dale. Reaching Travis. Down the hill they go. This will be their last opportunity here, this last lap. And looking at where drivers are right now, it's going to be the 462 car of Mugarian is going to be the last driver, I believe, to cross the line. Portis looks like he's able to gain back some time in the GP section. Up the hill they go. Gordon was gaining on Hickman's, lost a second now. You know, I said that this was their last opportunity, but this is actually going to be, you know, they've actually got a lap and a half about left to go of this battle, because once Larson crossed the line, that's when the race ends. And they have to cross the line after it. I could be wrong here, but I don't believe actually anyone is necessarily lapped. Or are they? No, there are some drivers who are lapped. I'll take that back. It's crazy to think that we've been racing for 90 minutes now, and Larson will finish this race with only 11 laps finished on this track. That's how long this lap is. Which, when you do the math, I mean, makes sense given that it's over an 8-minute lap. 11 laps, 8 times 11 is 88. You know, add some of the change of the over an 8-minute lap. You get to about 90 minutes. Ooh, Rodman actually almost lost it there. Was able to keep the car going straight. coming down the hill to the jump. And down the hill they go. Portis, Rivera. Let's watch them as they duke it out. Rodman close again. Closer than before. See if a move is actually made here. I know I just went off these guys here. But is there an opportunity? Looks like a good run from Rodman there. Slipstreaming. He definitely is in that slip. Ahead of them is, I believe that's Hickman. Looks like Hickman got into some issues there. Actually, no, that's Maurer. It's gotten into issues. Maurer's out. Still working. Love to see that. Never was able to get close enough. But they'll cross the line here, and they've got one full lap left to go. That's 8 minutes for them to still duke it out. Portis now doesn't have 8 minutes left. He's only got about 4 minutes left. Less than that, actually. Looking at where he is on the track, he's maybe got a couple minutes left to make a move. Stick here on Rivera. And his opportunity is going to be... down that back straight. And I actually was looking at the track wrong. I figured was in the wrong spot here. So they probably got, 3 minutes left here to duke it out. Portis is just going to want to stay close. In this flowing section, and you can see ahead, that's actually JP Belanger, who is right ahead of them. Belanger has not been running the fastest laps. And this could be a battle for the last podium position here, as Belanger is losing time to Rivera and Portis. Haven't been watching this. Last lap for Belanger was a second slower. He's still got some time between him and Rivera, but not as much as he was maybe hoping. It is the final lap here. And we actually have Mugarian slowing down here to let Larson by so he can just finish the race here. So that'll mean that some of these drivers in the GP circuit, they're going to be the final ones to cross. Larson now coming down that straight. He's going to finish the race here shortly. And Portis's opportunity is coming up here shortly. This is going to be his chance. Oh, and he loses the car out of the mini carousel there. A little bit of the rear end was lost, and that's actually going to probably lose him just enough time, unless he can get a really good exit coming off down the back straight here. And it looks good, but is it enough? Only time will tell. Is he in the slipstream? And I believe he barely is in the slipstream, but is he going to have enough time to get... Is there going to be enough of the straight for him to use that slipstream and get ahead? I don't know. Larson crosses the finish line. He's going to win. Portis working as hard as he can to try and get to Rivera, but it looks like it's going to be all in vain. He's not going to make it. Clifford crosses the line in P2. Here's Belanger. Final turn here. That'll be a P3 podium position for him. What a race from Belanger tonight. That is a huge congrats to him. And now Rivera and Portis will follow. Matthew Reed coming down the straight right now. He will cross the line and he will be in P6 if all goes well in these final few turns. Nunez now coming down that straight. He will cross the line in P7 if all goes well. Moving down, we got Barlett and Rodman duking it out. Rodman has been able to get past Travis here now. Ooh, and Rodman almost loses the car there a little bit. Going down the hill. He's able to keep the car going straight. Rear end's looking squirrely though. Still got a few minutes left in this race because these drivers still need to cross the line before the race is completely over. Travis looking for that opportunity, not going to make it. Chase Gordon's been losing some time to Zach Hickman ahead. Looks like Chase is just not going to have it in him to pass unless something happens to Zach ahead. And I believe that Zach would probably get his first win in class if all goes well here at the Nordschleife. You know, one thing I was just thinking, like this track feels almost a little bit for that semi-pro class like the Daytona of GT racing, where really anyone has an opportunity as long as they can keep it clean. You know, Daytona 500 is known for that. Like even a no-name, not saying that Zach is a no-name, but even somebody who hasn't won a race before, a rookie in the field, can win that race. It looks like it might be the case for our friend Zach Hickman tonight. And Hickman will cross the line. He will get P1 in class. Just turn off that overlay there. So they now come up the hill. Ooh, a little bit of a bounce off that curb from Travis. But he'll keep it clean. And he'll keep it moving forward as they come down the hill now. 21 car of Kaylor Nicholson coming. He's going to get a P3 finish. Chase Gordon has crossed the line in P2 in class. Good performance from him. Glenn Pinio now on that straight. Or actually, no, he's not on the straight yet. He's coming up to the straight here shortly. If he can keep it clean, that'll be a P4 for him. Coming up to a lap driver here, it's Lung. Lung will let him by. Jumping down the hill they go. Looks like a lot of understeer from Travis's cars. Looks like those tires are really leaving him. Oh, wow. Doesn't look like there's a lot of grip on that Nissan. Glenn Pinio now on the straight. Just got to take it home. Rodman. Looking to come away P5 after a bit of a comeback drive there. Weaving a little bit down the straight. Messing with Travis maybe a little bit as he weaves down the straight. And no worries, Pusher Man. Thanks for coming in and joining. Ended up being very eventful here at the end as we watch Rodman wrap up his lap here. Looking to come away with a P5 in class. And looks like a little bit of a timing mess up there. Travis has not crossed the finish line. It'll be Rodman. And then it should be Travis. Looks like a bit of an issue just on my graphics, but it should be Rodman, then Travis. Sean Collis will be our last driver, along with, I believe ahead of him is maybe Louis Sands, if I'm looking at that correctly. I believe I am. So Sands and Collis now, down the straight they go. Quite a bit of time after our good friend Christopher Larson has crossed the line. He'll be coming around the last final turns. We'll be wrapping up our race today. It was a long one for our drivers. It was a difficult one for our drivers. It's a lot to manage when it's a 90-minute race at the toughest track that the game has to offer. But we started with 26 drivers, I believe. Still have 20 drivers here at the end of the race. I'd say that's a pretty good ratio of drivers still sticking with it, as finally he's crossed the line. Collis, P14 overall, P7 in class. Well, there you have it, folks. As I return to the garage, I'll show you the timetables here for our race. And there you have it, folks. That is our final order for today's race. We're going to have Christopher Larson coming away with the win here at the Nordschleife, with Clifford and Belanger rounding out the Pro Series podium. Big congrats to Belanger there on getting a podium. Like I said, wasn't expecting a podium from him today, but was able to keep it clean, was able to come away with an excellent result. Then we've got Rivera, Portis, Reed, Nunez. Going further down the list, Gonzalez, Lloyd, and Wolf in the Pro Division class, with Gonzalez coming away with the fastest lap, even though we had him leave a little bit early. In our semi-pro category, we have Zach Hickman, I believe, coming away with his first win in the class. Then we have Chase Gordon and Nicholson rounding out our podium positions. Following them, we have Pinho with an excellent P4 finish. We've got Rodman, Barlett, Collis, Levasseur, Rustin, Lung, Maurer, Hickman, Alex Hickman, and Trudell. And then last but not least, in our rookie division here, we've only had 3 drivers here today. Only 2 of them have finished some laps, but more importantly, they stuck with it the whole time. And that's a huge hats off to Mugarian and Louis Sands. I'm going to give them my driver of the day for sticking with it in their class. Excellent job for everyone, though, for sticking with. This is a very, very difficult track, and I'm sure anyone who's raced in this game knows that. Anyone who's raced in any version of the Nordschleife knows how difficult this track can be. And tonight was no different for our drivers. But everyone has now made it to the end. We are finished with our round 7 of the Galaxy Tour. Typically, this would actually have been our final round of the season, but given the issues that we've had with server stability in the past couple rounds, especially at Watkins Glen, the Watkins Glen race, which was round 5, is going to be postponed until next week. Sadly, I will not be available to do the stream next week as I'm going on a family vacation, but hopefully we'll be back next season having having some more streams for our racing. We'll have to figure that out. There's no details right now for our next season. I won't be able to give you any details next week because I'll be gone. But if you want all of the latest information regarding all of our leagues here at Zealous Racing League, be sure to, well, one, like and subscribe this video and help share, you know, share the word. But also, if you go to our YouTube channel, there'll be a link on the home page that'll go to our Discord server. If you join that, that's where you get the most up-to-date information on upcoming leagues. And if you're looking to get involved with sim racing in any capacity or with the league in any capacity, just feel free to join that and come on by and say hi. We have, coaching opportunities. We have, fun. We call them beer league nights. We've got the leagues itself, and we're always looking for help on an admin level. So if that's something you might be interested in helping out with, let the admins know, and we'll see where you can fit into the team. But anyway, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. Um, Congratulations to all of our winners tonight, and good luck to everyone next week in our final round for the season. I hope everyone can stay safe out there and have a wonderful rest of their week. My name is Shim. It's been an absolute pleasure, and peace.